Hotep, Black Power. Once again, it's your brother, Shaka saying Kofa. As always, giving the ancestors and the Creator honor and thanks. Also, thank you all, especially those who, have subscribed to my channel and are tuning in. Because one thing I want to share with you all is that, one thing about me, I may not be this profound speaker and this high level intellectual speaker or whatever, but one thing you will get from me is an honest opinion and the truth when it comes to pertaining to any type of history, any type of research, which is done on my own, and that's based on my personal research, my personal view on things, on particular subjects. So, I want to talk to y'all about this Hotep Hustling shit. I was listening to this brother the other day, and he was doing a live, I guess a live stream or whatever, and brother was he was just, people were logging into him and everything, and he was like, I'm getting ready to go in, I'm going in hard tonight and all this type of shit. And he get this ranting and raving and screaming about how you're not supposed to be broke, and then he goes and ranting and raving about and I know who he was talking about people that's hustling the black community for money, and it's supposed to been 7 years, and individuals been hollering about getting schools and all this and haven't done nothing yet, and everybody's hustling the black community, having this and having that, debates and all this stuff, pocketing money, not doing anything for the black community. So, he yelling and screaming and ranting and raving, and, people going in, yeah, you right, yeah, hit them, and, all this shit, right? And, by experience, and by me never even hearing who this brother is, and based on experience, I always look at these people that's just coming off the porch, and when I say off the porch, I mean 10 years and under in terms of being out here and fighting for liberation and salvation. Not no conscious community. I'm talking about actual, the uplifting of our people and liberation and salvation for the black nation. You always got to be, you always have to take a look at those people that's just popping out the woodwork. I know a lot of y'all learned that from their brother Polite. They come out smoking. They come out smoking and talking this and talking that, and you think, a lot of y'all are green. Cause a lot of y'all that tuned in, and I understand you're just coming into the light. So it sounds real good and it sounds real strong, however, once again, I always look at the people that's just coming off the porch, but anyway, the brothers, going in on people and yelling and screaming and all this, but I think the brother's about 4'10" height wise, but anyway, with the, Napoleon complex, but anyway, he was talking all this shit, and he was selling some type of product that nearly cost $300, and so once again, that's somebody saying, I'm a good devil. I'm not like the rest of the devils. I'm a good devil. I'm not gonna take all your money. I'm gonna take most of it though. And that's that Hotep Hustling stuff, because I never hear anyone talk about doing anything for the community. Of course, we all want nice things, anybody, that's just a natural instinct to have nice things and to be able to provide and all that. Those are necessities. Not luxury is not a necessity, and that's where the division comes in That's what separates the men from the boys in terms of liberation and Hotep hustling. You know, but the things that are necessary we do need, and being able to be a decent provider without barely having your head above water. Nobody wants to live like that. However, you at the end of the day, you have to determine what's your motives for black consciousness. What's your motives? Are you seriously fighting for the liberation and salvation of the black nation, or are you fighting for you? Are you fighting for a payday? And I agree with Sonetta, because even though he was bashed like hell, and the same people that bashed him are doing the same thing that he was doing, But like Sonetta was saying, nobody says nothing to the preachers. Nobody says nothing to them. Nobody says nothing to the imams. Nobody says nothing to them about how they breaking and bleeding the fucking community. So once again, like I said, you have to watch these people just coming off the porch, come out with this strong, smoking dialogue and all this, and you get your people cheering for you and whatnot. But where are you taking them? You're going in their pockets too. And I need you can look, you can do research on us, on the Street Law Soldiers and Shaka Sankofa, and you'll see that we're about the community. We're always in the community, giving out food, clothing, referrals to drug treatment, referrals to shelters, assisting people in trying to get temporary and emergency housing. We've been doing this, for nearly 20 years. So, and I've lectured with some of the best, around. You can ask Brother Seti, you can ask Brother Dawa, you can ask, I was one of the first ones that did a lecture with Umar Johnson, when he was doing free lectures. And I'm just saying that for you who probably don't know who I really am, but if you do research, you'll see that I've been around longer than some of y'all been born. I came into the fold of consciousness in '89. I met Sonetta in 1990. So you do the math. When I was just a real young kid. So but this Hotep hustling shit, and I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, watch out for these brothers and sisters that's just coming off the porch, smoking, talking this strong shit, and they're not putting no work in. And at the end of their dialogue, they got their hand out. The only donations we've been taking, for several years has been food, clothing, shoes, things like that. We get donations from different people, and we give this stuff out, our organization. That's what we doing. We trying to clean our people up, because some of our most committed soldiers and soldierettes are right now, they're either behind enemy lines in these concentration camps, or they're in the concrete jungle trying to combat certain addictions, and alcoholism and homelessness and mental health, because all African families have some level of mental health. Some are just greater than others, and that's based on just being descendants of slaves, here in this colony called North America, and once again, like I said, I watched these brothers. You were, Donnie, Donnie the drunk, 3 years ago. Now you Dr. Mfubu Gubu and all this bullshit, and you haven't given yourself enough time, to let, Donnie the drunk die, because at some point, if you get too much too soon, then Donnie the drunk will reappear before you know it, and you'll see it in the behavior. I've seen it in lectures. I've seen them in debates. I've seen them in street ciphers. Yeah, this is a process. You have to go from one life to the next. And that's all of us. All of us had previous fucked up and slave-minded, indoctrinated histories prior to coming into knowledge. Let's not get that twisted. Nobody was born like they are now. If you so-called call yourself conscious or whatever, or liberator or revolutionary or street activist, you know what I'm saying, or street soldier, you have a history, prior to coming into that fold. So you have to be clear about that shit, man. And it's good that you come into the light, man. But it's a process. I see that all the time. Then nobody can't tell you nothing. Your arrogance, when a couple of people, agree with, a lot of theories and ideologies that you have, then you become arrogant. Nobody can tell you anything then. Everything that you say is right. I see that all the time. We have to learn to stay. You have to learn to understand your position, stay in your position, understand who you are, be the best at who you are, and fall in the ranks of our ancestors, fall in the ranks of the people that came before us, the line, that true line of divine, and walk in your own greatness and stand straight up. It's not a real difficult task. It's always a struggle, but just the blessing of being chosen by the ancestors. Now, I had mentioned this before, that everybody, a lot of you all be lying about the ancestors chose you, and that's based on if you're fulfilling your assignment to its fullest. And you only you know that. And some other people may notice it, but only you know that at the end of the day. But it's a blessing to even be in the true line of divine. I enjoy being a warrior. I enjoy being a revolutionary. Of course, it's a lonely walk when you're true to this. And I don't know no real well-off, wealthy revolutionaries, and not even Dick Gregory. I'm talking about rich, wealthy, because something is wrong. Something is wrong with that picture. Unless you hit the lottery or ran into some type of inheritance or something of that nature, or have played professional sports or something like that. If you are a revolutionary and you got $30-40 million, I have to question that. And then and a lot of you, the correct amount of paper will bring the real you out. Next thing you know, you'll move. You'll use the excuse of everybody's out to get you because you got a little bit of paper, so you no longer want to be in the hood. You want to rub shoulders because you look at that as that's some big shit that you rub shoulders with these albinoid devils. And y'all know who I'm talking about. It's a lot of y'all that do that. You do a lot of compromising. And it's time for for you to make a decision on whether you're gonna be true to this shit or not, or you're just gonna bullshit around with it. But enough of that. I've spent enough time on that. Another thing I want to discuss is about the revolution, the assassinations and murders of our leaders. I've done several lectures about that. The assassination of Dr. King. All the people that were truly involved in the brother's assassination, and all the entertainers and athletes, and a lot of them we have forgotten about, like Sean Taylor, Steve McNair. These people were assassinated. Sean Taylor was assassinated. This wasn't no botched burglary that went wrong and he was shot in the thigh and all this bullshit and died. It doesn't make sense. The real truth, and I'll just share a pinch with you. That Sean Taylor was murdered behind the fact that he ran into some information concerning the murder of Dale Earnhardt in NASCAR on one of his computers. That the Wi-Fi signal from, I guess, Joe Gibbs' computers and the Redskins, the organization computers, he logged in on it somehow, and they found out about it, and they made attempts to pay individuals to break in his house to get the computers, which they had got the wrong one the first time, and the second time he was home, and he was murdered, and he was shot in the face with a shotgun. That's why he had a closed casket funeral. And shortly afterwards, Joe Gibbs retired because he thought that the investigation was going to come his way. So he retired. So, that's just a tidbit concerning the assassination of Sean Taylor. But I have a lot of information on, Prince, Michael Jackson, several other entertainers, Pimp C, Sam Cooke, Otis Redding, James Brown, and several others, some known and unknown to a lot of you new people just coming into the light of consciousness. Hold on a second. Yeah. Also, as always, the police have murdered another brother, in North Carolina, and he's not going to be charged, once again, we went on and, accepted, they can kill us and we just keep going. We almost literally stepping over the dead by our brothers and sisters, dead bodies, and we keep going. Cause like I told y'all, that fist up bullshit and marching up down the street, holding all these fucking talk shows and all these fucking forums and summits, that bullshit is not gonna work. It's ineffective. It is ineffective. And the Black Lives Matter, that's a fucking joke. That's just a new NAACP funded by George Soros and these motherfucking white Jews and these white fags and dykes, and linking up with us once again, because there's something out of this that they want. Otherwise, they would not be doing this shit. So, we have you find out, that's your assignment. Find out what are they trying to get out of it, or are they trying to, deep down inside, they can feel that war is inevitable and they don't want any parts of it, so they're trying to play like, they quote unquote fucking colorblind and all this bullshit. I'm not buying none of it. When it goes down, it's two sides, black and white, just like a television, just like writing paper. It's like lead to a sheet of paper. It's black and white. We're not gonna straddle the fence. There's no timeouts and none of that. And see, those are things we have to get clearly understood. Because a lot of us don't really want war. A lot of us don't really want war. We want to continue to debate. We want to continue to talk shit. We want to continue to get paid. We want to continue to sell our little products. Bleed the black community out, the poor people out there, little fucking change, and sell each other these motherfucking dreams about liberation. I have yet to see not one organization other than the Street Law Soldiers, and I have to say this, You know, not to put our organization on a pedestal, but I haven't seen nobody else, you know, feed the people. I haven't seen nobody else give out clothes. I've only seen Sonetta and Sarah Sudanseti and Brother Sutek and Brother Rich actually come out of their pockets and you know, give Dr. Ben money, help Dr. Ben out. You know, but I've seen nobody else do anything other than that, but have their hands out. You know, as always, they're selling something. You know, you can't, I mean, anywhere you go, you know, and you know, like I work on a plantation. You know, I don't plan on being there the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? But I have to eat. But also at the same time, you know, we produce our own newspapers. We print out our own monthly newspapers. You know, we sell and give away DVDs. You know, and framed pictures, glossy print pictures of our ancestors and leaders. You know, you know, for little or nothing, because we understand, you know, how hard it is, you know, for us to come up with $20 and $30. You know, like I said, the brother that was doing all that barking, you know, he was selling a product that was nearly $300. You know, and on the other hand, brother Supernova Sloan, he has a product that's probably more efficient, you know, that he sells for $30. You know, because you have to understand and meet the people, you know, because what are you more concerned with? And be honest with yourself. You don't have to tell me, but you know within yourself whether you tell the truth to yourself or not. Are you more concerned with getting paid or raising the level of consciousness of your people? Ask yourself that. You know, because you can tell us anything. You know, and as always, it's going to be somebody that's going to, right now, somebody that's, you know, looking for some type of flaw in what I'm saying to have justification to continue doing what they're doing. Because instead of saying, you know, just like I was sharing about the brother that was, you know, yelling, and he was putting it down. He was putting it down until, you know, he stuck everybody. He pulled his gun out and said, "Stick him up, motherfucker." You know, this is a $200, $300 stick up. You know, but prior to that, you know, he was going in on some folks. You know, and it appeared that he had passion in his voice. You know, like he was really sincere. But at the end of the day, it's you know, he's no different than the rest. You know, and you're right. You know, some of us, you know, we gotta eat, we have to live. But think about your brother. You know, how can I meet him halfway? You know, what's wrong with me taking a hit? I'ma still make some bread, but I may not make as much as I want. But I'ma still be satisfied at the end of the day, because I know that I've actually genuinely helped my people, because I'm kind of taking a lower hit on this. I'm not going to the max with my people, but at the same time, I'm knocking the person just standing right next to me that's doing the same exact thing. He's wrong, but I'm right. You see, you know, and that's why I say you have to watch these individuals that's just coming out. You know, think about it. Go back 10 years. You know, go back to 2006 and tell me how many people that you see today, that was back there then. You know, and how many people have you seen from 2006 that has appeared, you know, I'll say since 2012 to today. You know, you've seen you got in a whole almost in a whole nation of new voices. You know, and everybody has the answer to cancer. You know, everybody has the answer, and when they come on, everybody else is wrong but them. You know, and that's how I know a lot of people don't last long. You know, because of the fact that, you know, instead of being honest, instead of sitting at the feet of the masters, because I sat at the feet, literally, of Dr. Khalid Muhammad. May they rest in power, Brother Steve Coakley. You know, I've carried their books. You know, I walked up and down Georgia Avenue, pushing Brother Steve Coakley's suitcase. You know, and them brothers, you know, and at the end they were penniless, and they deserved wealth because they were sincere. They were committed to struggle. They were diehard committed to struggle. You know, they ate, slept, and shit, and shaved, and bathed black liberation. 24/7. They were committed. You know, and when they left out of here, when they made their ascensions, you know, they were penniless, which is a goddamn shame. But I've seen black people, niggas, I call them niggas. You bought David Icke shit. You bought Webster Thompson shit. You bought Anthony Hills shit. You bought Alex Jones shit. You been on Alex Jones show. You know, and you know, and that's a fucking shame. That's a goddamn shame. You know, and same as in, you know, and that's how it is when the men are away, the girls will play. Same as in the entertainment business. You know, when Pac and Biggie died, Diddy and Snoop, you know, they literally turned into queens. I saw some footage where P. Diddy has a wig on, you know, acting like a woman, trying to call one of his boyfriends over, you know, so they can go shopping and sleep together. You know, Snoop started walking around wearing plastic curl bags on his head and walking around with purses, call them man bags, but they're nothing but purses. You know, with long fingernails and getting French manicures like a woman. You know, this is post Biggie and Tupac. You know, and you know, it's the same way. You know, after Dr. Khalid, when he was murdered, and Brother Steve Coakley was murdered, you know, people started to change. You had people that wanted to replace them. You had people that wanted to be like them. It's okay to want to emulate somebody and gravitate from the good information and the attributes that individual has, but you have your own individuality. You know, you have to grasp on to that. That's what will make you come into your God self and function on a high frequency. When you tap into your own energy. You know, and you know, of course they helped me. They helped mold me and shape me and discipline me, because I didn't talk or anything. I was just a student. I just listened, kept a right pencil in my hand and a notepad. You know, and you know, I followed them around. You know, you know, and that's when VHS tapes. You know, we used to rent a car and drive to New York in 91 just to get a VHS tape from Sonetta. They were $30 and $40 then, big ass VHS tapes, you know. And I can name almost on one hand who the lecturers were then. You know, you had Dr. Phil Valentine, you had Dr. Clark, Dr. Ben, Bobby Hemming, you know, Barry Shango, Dr. Khalid, Amos Wilson, Dale Jones, Steve Coakley, Booker T. Coleman, and a couple of others. You know, it was very limited. You know, and that's when nobody was nobody was getting paid, and I never saw them ask for a ton of money until late in the game. And that was with, Phil and Bobby. They began to, start to switch the game up, and, but other than that, it was, that's all that it was, and like I said, Sean Netta been out there forever, and he deserves much credit because, to be honest, if it wasn't for him, 98% of the people that are on social media would have never been heard of, would have never grabbed a camera, more than likely. I know your pride won't allow you to say, oh, yeah, no, I would have done it. No, I doubt it. He planted the seed. He put the idea in the minds and hearts of our people. And you have to give him credit for that. Over the years, he said and done some things that I totally despised. But at the end of the day, he's, I believe in his heart, man. He means well. He's a good brother, And there's a lot of good brothers up there, Blue Pill, Red Pill, Herman Smalls, Sarah Sukanseti, Young Pharaoh. I believe their hearts are in the right place. Brother Sutek, their hearts are in the right place. I believe they are truly committed, And like I said, I don't agree with everything nobody says, but I have to look at, weigh everything out at the end of the day, and that's my view. They tip the scales, on the side of liberation. When you look at the meiotic balance with those particular brothers. So there was a couple of more things I wanted to discuss, because see, people, you want to log into shit, because a lot of y'all are drama filled, as long as if you can go plug into somebody's channel that's confusing, that's getting ready to fight, that's arguing and all this bullshit. See, you love that type of shit. But if somebody's dropping some jewels, somebody that's sincere, somebody that means well, that's going to stand in your corner and fight with you and fight for you, you really don't want that. You really don't want that type of energy. You want the energy. Then you want to go on the street and talk about who was getting ready to fight, because it's the same type of shit in the so-called conscious community, just fucking banging, and and all that shit is just about getting hits on your motherfucking YouTube channel. That's all that shit is about. Getting hits on your Facebook, getting hits on your YouTube channel, because a lot of y'all deliberately, start shit and deliberately are controversial and confrontational with people that are trying to, fight for liberation, in the black community. But if you create some type of negative confrontational dialogue with that individual, you'll begin to get hits. I'm not doing none of that shit, because for one thing, I'm not good at arguing, having arguments. That shit is for females. I'm not good at arguing. If it comes to a point where, we have some differences and we can't settle our differences, I got a way to deal with it. I don't know how you deal with it. I got a way to deal with it. I'm gonna leave that, and I'm gonna leave it like that. Because they're hollering, yeah, motherfucker, sound like women, man. The matter this, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we can have a debate, blah, blah, blah. Hebrew Israelite, blah, 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 blah. Some old, motherfucking, broad type, dame shit, man. Let's just try to work together. Back in the 60s, it wasn't like that. When you had beefs, that was because COINTELPRO, they were COINTELPRO induced beefs. Falsified documents saying something negative about one another and all that shit, and then some of them bought into it. because they made it sound so convincing. That's how the fucking albinoid devil is. So, everybody's gonna come from different walks of life. My thing is, I'm willing to work with anybody, as long as you know that motherfucking cracker is the devil. Then I have no problem with you. I don't care what you can believe in goldfish. It don't matter if you believe. And once you see a white goldfish and see that's the motherfucking enemy, then we can work. We can work together. We can build together. And we'll deal with our differences and come to a medium or whatever. If it comes to that later on down the line, after we're liberated and we're free and our children have the education that they're supposed to have. They have the proper teachers. No more molesting, no more raping, no more killing our babies. No more starvation, no more homelessness. Drug addiction will be defeated. Alcoholism will be defeated. Brothers and sisters greeting each other every day, all day long. The greeting of the melanated people, the people of color, walking strong, walking tall. Happiness. People being relieved. The elderly that put in the work are being cared after and looked after. People checking on them constantly, all day. Making sure that they eat. Going to the hospitals and, the people that are bedridden, the people that are missing limbs, the people that are suffering from certain diseases. Send out herbalists, send out our doctors and because we have our own doctors. Send out naturopathic specialists in these hospitals. Cure these people, have them get up and walk. And create limbs. That's liberation. That's black liberation. That's black salvation. And that's what I yearn to see the day. I yearn to see that day. And it can happen. This is just not some far-fetched dream. We within arm's reach of this shit, but we have to stick our arms out. It can be done. We ruled before, we can rule again. But everybody can't be a ruler. What's wrong with ruling as one? So I'm gonna come back and see you all in the morning, but until I see y'all again, Hotep, Black Power, peace.